The views and opinions of this program do not reflect the views and opinions of LICMC Radio or its affiliates.
Get ready to listen to KC and the Mix with host Karen Curry. Listen as Karen gets up close and personal. Friday at 6:45 p.m. live on LICMC.net, radio, and social medias. Karen Curry is also the author of the book Overflow, The Karen Curry Story, and can be purchased on Amazon.com.
How everyone doing today? I'm coming to you today with some different kind of stories. I really want to see if people are awake. I have some questions first, and I know a lot of you are going to want to ask after I get through answering these questions. I want to make some inquiries first of some of the things that I've been through as a child. One of them was I was spoiled. And I understood the whoopings now, vice versa then. I didn't understand that spoiling a child and sparing a rod does mean something. It means a lot to some people that don't understand where I'm coming from. I'm gonna take you back to 1989 on the news. They told us we couldn't spank our children. Now, some of us did beat some behind, we had to. You don't know what them children did inside some of them homes, because you definitely don't know what I did. And I can tell you, I was a little monster. I knew from a very young age, when my grandma said, don't put your hands on her, I knew then that I had a little uppers on my aunties and uncles in the household, because she meant what she said when she said, don't put your hands on her. Now I see when we congregate around our children and we take this to another level to where we're telling our own children that they can't spank the children. And then the moment the children do something outlandish, we look at our kids like, get it, it's bad, it's this, it's that. Remember, we had something to do with that badness. We had something to do with some of the ill things that some of our children do, because we condoned some of it, not even knowing that it was haste for us condoning it back then. We condone these things to happen. We condone the children to be bad because we didn't know that they were going to come out some little spoiled rotten brats. I was one. I even had aunties to spoil me, and I heard that's my favorite, and I heard that's the best. Do you know sometimes when you say them things, you make them just as worse than they were or than they are? Yeah, you build us up. And some of us was built up to be bad, to be terrible. And then people don't understand. They talk about she this and she that. You don't understand whence I came. You don't understand where I came from. You don't understand why I was so bad. Sometimes you got to fight in this world to get to where you got to go. And yes, you got to fight in Christ too to get to where you got to go. You get beat down everywhere you go. Our president getting beat down every day. Pay attention. Pay attention. Just watch and listen. Listen to some of the stuff that we talk about at each other now, not to each other. We talk at each other constantly, because half of us don't even know how to relate to each other. You don't know what I'm feeling. You don't know what I'm going through 99% of the time of the day, nor night. You don't know them sleepless nights that I've had as a mother, as a child. Some of us have been through a lot. Yeah, some of the things you've been through is because you were orchestrated to go a right way and you went the wrong way. Orchestration has been there from the day you came into the world. And see, that's there to go again. From the day you came into the world. See, when you got your behind spanked, some of us did and some of us didn't. And those that didn't seem like they're the craziest now today. Okay, I'm not talking about any child. I'm not trying to bash no child, but I'm gonna tell you this. I was a force to be reckoned with, and a lot of people said. And I don't care what you say, and I don't confess to be bad. That's not what I'm confessing. I'm confessing that I was something else. I was a little monster. I was that Peter in the Bible. I was that Rachel in the Bible. Some of these people that did some bad things, you can say Rachel did a couple of bad things. That's what people say. I don't know. I wasn't there. I wasn't in the Bible, and I can't tell you nothing about the Bible. I can tell you about today's time, and I can tell you I still want to follow God today, just like they followed him back then in that day. I don't know what God y'all call him on, because there's so many names that y'all done gave him. One of the most beautiful names is Jesus that I've heard, but some of y'all can say, no, that's not him. Some of y'all concur, it's different. I have so many stories inside to tell. I'm gonna touch bases on a lot of these stories today to give you a little clearance where I'm coming from and the understanding of who I am. Not saying that I'm the best thing since sliced bread, but I know I'm one thing. I'm a child of the King. And as long as I know that, as long as I confess his name, as long as I talk about him and love him and do his name due diligence, I know I'm doing something. And what I mean to due diligence is when I go out here and help people, the things I've done, I don't just do them to say I'm doing them, because God made me able to do them. He gave me the abilities. He gave me the power and understanding how to do them. Some people want to take that from you. Some people want to smite you, knock you down at all costs. Because these are the people that's in the world that we live in today. The evil, the vindictive, the ones that destroy home, the one that don't love nobody. You can't love. You talking about somebody who need control? Yes, we need control. If you don't have control over your household and who's in your household, then who is? If you're not going to control nothing around you and have no understanding about anything around you, then who is? I'm not going to sit up here and let you control what I'm supposed to control as a mother, as a wife, as a man's queen. You are not going to take over what I got to control. Neither you, nor no mother, no brothers, no sisters, no cousins, no friends. Nobody's going to take over what God given me. That's a marriage and a life. And so many people want to dip into it. And so many people want to have so many harsh things to say. Oh, we just touching the surface about things, y'all. I'm just talking. Just hear me out. There's some more things I got to say. There's so many people that try to smite what you have and try to kill your insides, kill you with words. But I'm going to tell you something. Your words bounce off of me like little arrows. They just sting for a second and they gone. Your words is not hurting me. They build me. Words are a strong tower. You take them words and you monopolize them words that people send at you and you use them for the ability to move forward. You don't stress yourself. You don't pull against it. You let them talk and say what they got to say, because at the end of the day, you know what you did. Because if you don't know what you did, then you need to talk. I don't need to talk because I know what I've done. And that's for anybody that's been in my life. Even if I put a stain in your brain to let you know that I whipped your behind one way or another, you caught that. Even if I was a friend or whatever you want to call me, you caught that. The best friend to me is a friend indeed to stay out of my business. Even if I come to you and tell you something, my business was just to tell you because I needed somebody to talk to. Everybody needs somebody to talk to. And sometimes you talk to your worst enemy. And your enemy spread your business like wildfires through the world and don't know they're hurting you. What you doing? What are you monopolizing by hurting somebody? Tell me what you're getting out of your vindictive ways. Tell me what are you getting out of the hurt that we see on everyone. This world is evil. And it's wicked, and it's been like that for a long time. Some of them little secret play people is coming out their closets, and they're coming out biting. And they're coming out smashing and snatching things. And guess what? All this evilness in the land, you best to believe. For the evilness, there's 10 times more happiness coming. Trust me. And that's my life right there. Every time somebody bring evil my way, God bring a wish. He bring a wish of happiness. And trust me. And it ain't got nothing to do with money. It's just a smile that I can put off my face when I wake up in the morning. It's the clothes that I can put on my back when I'm trying to go somewhere and take care of business. It's the gas that I can put in my car. It's the food that's on my table. It's him that supply these, not nobody else. So when you think you're doing vindictive things to somebody, you're trying to hurt somebody, believe me, you're not doing it. Not even those in the Christian world, you so-called holy and thou Christians. Don't ask me what I am, but I'm a child of the King. But some of you holier than thou so-called want to be Christians that stay in everybody else's business, that snap at everybody else and think you winning. You give me shivers because you ain't winning nothing. You done already lost. You done lost a long time ago because Christ said after he was done with his what? With his reign through the earth, he was coming back. So remember, even when you think you've won, you still lost. You can never beat God. You can never beat what he had for none of us. And when you keep on thinking that you won, he keeps showing you, you can't keep a good woman down. You're not going to keep nobody down. None of you devils. Not now, devil in hell is going to stop what God got for me. And if you think you are, keep trying. Because the only thing can separate me from God is death. And then I'm with him. That's the only thing that separates me from him at that point. Because I don't know where I go when I go to death. Neither do you. When we leave here, do any of y'all know where you going? Can you tell me whence you came? Are you going whence you came from? Are you going back there? Are you going to honor God? Do we know this? Do we know what's after this? Can you believe that there's something greater than this? And if it is, why is everybody acting like they heaven is right here on earth? So why you want to dog your sisters and brothers? Why you want to dog your mothers, your cousins? Why you want to put everybody down? Yes, we all have done it. We all are guilty. There is no one person guilty. Now, let's start no crying, okay? Hold on, let me get my stuff together, y'all. We ain't gonna play here, okay? We ain't starting none of that today. But I'm gonna tell you this. There's no separation of hate in this world no more. There used to be a big gap between hate and love. There is not. It's that thin line. That's a real truth now. It's a thin line between love and hate. And some of y'all so-called holier than thou Christians, oh, y'all got the hate so strong. Y'all sit up here and will dog somebody and make them an adversary even when they're not. Even when they're not the adversary, you make them the adversary because that's just the adversary way. He's going to do what he chooses to do, and he don't care who he hurt and who he step on to get to the point to where he's gone. Where you going? Because your time is already almost up for you reigning and doing what you're doing. That evil side, and all of us had an evil side inside of us because it grows. Even this grows, even if a child is born in the world with happiness. I done heard people say, why you always smiling? I used to walk up in church and they would say that, and that kind of, it knocked me back a little bit. It took me somewhere. Why are you always smiling? What you mean? Can I smile? Can I be me? Can I have a little joy inside of me? What is wrong with you? I might be smiling to ward off some of the pain, and I might just be smiling because I feel good to smile. It feels good to walk someplace in and you're feeling good about yourself and your head is up in the air when sometimes people don't even know. I don't give a how fine your body is. I don't give how pretty you look. I don't give how luxurious your hair is. If your mind ain't right sometimes, ain't nothing right. If your heart ain't right sometimes and you're heavy and you don't know what nobody going through, ain't nothing right. You can keep on contesting in the world that everything is okay, but God will show you the people that he need to show you. And once he show you, it will shock you out of your mind. Because some of these people are ingested in filth and hate inside of their heart. They can hate you just because if you walking up a straight line. They can hate you because you sling your hair. They can hate you because you got on a piece of jewelry they don't like. But do you know the hate that's out there? It's strong. And sometimes you can feel it in the cores of your bones. It trickle down and you say, why are people so hateful? And they want to hate you. And you ain't got to do nothing to them. They'll bring on some hate and they'll bring on some lies about you, and you'll sit up there and you'll shake your head and try to shake that mess off. And sometimes you got to tell yourself, I'd rather just look at the people and not even try to approach people anymore, not even try to love anymore. Am I scared to love somebody now? Because of some of my own things that's going on in my life? No, I'm not afraid. I ain't afraid of nothing. And those that call me crazy, yeah, I'm crazy. I'm crazy for Jesus and I'm crazy for the right thing. And if you think I'm wrong for loving on mine and trying to make it happen for you, you got the problem. I ain't gonna never have a problem. Because I'm the best thing when it comes to loving, when it comes to caring that I think that I can be. I'm the best that I can be. I can't change for you. I can't make it evil. I can't make this hurt no more than it already hurted just for the little things that I do to make sure somebody else is happy. But see, that's how some things fall. Just sometimes you're making other people happy and watching them soar and watching them do things in life may just make you happy if they really understood who you were. They would know that it makes you happy to see them soar, to see them do things, to see them eyes like an eagle, just maximizing and doing things that you're supposed to do in life. Things that I gird up to tell you to do. I'm just saying, let's push that aside, okay? I'm not going to go there right now. But it's just so many things in life that you don't understand. And then people are so bitter and angry at who? Who you bitter and angry at? Because I think I spilled out the right things out of my mouth. I think go to school, graduate, do what you got to do, go to college. The doors is open to all that's been around. And if you have a problem with that, check yourself. Stand in the mirror and look and say, I failed me. Because you didn't fail me. Because I did what I had to do. Whether you want to believe it or not, this world revolves around you. And if you take it and do what you need to do, you wouldn't have to worry about what nobody think about you. But you're worried and consuming yourself so deep in other people's business where you talk about a person so deep and you maximize yourself with them, not knowing that you're making them your Lord. Remember, when you talk about somebody and you're constantly talking about a person, bringing them down, you're lording over that person. Now you're making that person feel this big and you're looking this small because you're lording over something. You keep on trying to push something up that ain't there. You're trying to elevate something that's not there. Because when God get ready to elevate, he ain't going to stop. He going to keep on elevating. When you think you got this suppressed, when you think you got your foot on somebody's back, that's when you're going to get flipped over, abused, and beat up. And it's not by me. It's what God is doing to people. Understand what's going on. You better watch outside. You better see what's going on. You better understand it and take it to heart. And stop playing. The enemy is running through the land. He's getting his time to serve. What about you? When is it your time to serve? When is it your time to step up and do what God wants you to do as a person, as a human being? And every time I've tried, I get people on my back. I want to do this. I used to do that. And you bag up like, have it. Have it. Resist the devil. Hey, have it. Because what God got for me, you ain't going to stop. The time is now. The time is here. The time is here for you to do what you need to do in Christ. Stimulate your mind. Stimulate yourself. Put yourself to a real effect. Do something, but make it real. Make it count. in my worst state right now, sick and all, still sick, just getting over such. We don't even know where we head. That's how deep this is, okay? It's even deeper when you go to hospitals and the doctors don't even care no more. Half of them do not care. And I can tell you some of the places that I've been where they do not care. And if you got something, they don't know what you got, they stick you off in the room and you can press that buzzer all you want and step to that door, they push that door closed until you stand there. Till we figure this out. What the hell you trying to figure out? Excuse my French, understand this. There's nothing to figure out. You already knew what was wrong with me. You just want me to stay there so you can get that dollar. Okay, now let me go so I can go home so I can fix this. And when you come home, you have to fix this, but everybody else in the house gets sick because of these diseases that we have to deal with that's man-made, that's put out here. And y'all are some wise people, I hope. I hope y'all paying attention because there's a lot of things we're going to talk about. We're just hitting the nitty-gritty with some of these things, okay? Even with the cancer, kidneys, this and that, diabetes, this and that, heart trouble by this and that. Everybody got something that they're dealing with in their lives, and there's only a few ways to cure yourself if you know what I'm talking about. And I got to say what I got to say. And if you get mad at me saying it, telling people to take care of themselves, then the issue is yours. It's not mine. Because I'm going to tell them what I need to tell them. I'm going to tell them what's helping me and what God is doing for me if it's helping me, okay? Because they're talking about a lot of stuff that we still have to go to these places and sit up with these people and act like we got a little sense in ourselves and talk to them with some sense. And when they asking you questions about what you've been taking and you telling them, well, you had me on this pill for 4 years. Well, I want to up the dose. For what? It ain't messing with me. Why you want to mess with it? Just because it's been 4 years later, they want to up your dose, or they want to change the dose, or they want to add something else and take you off of that, but they want to add 2 more to what they're taking you off of. See, so you're trying to monopolize what? You're trying to do what to me? You're trying to do what because I'm still here? What is it, you know? Just because you said something. I never said these things about myself. You said them, can you give me 5 minutes? Can we go to commercial? Give me a second, you guys.
Get ready to listen to KC and the Mix with host Karen Curry. Listen as Karen gets up close and personal. Friday at 6:45 p.m. live on licmc.net, radio and social medias. Karen Curry is also the author of the book Overflow, The Karen Curry Story, and can be purchased on Amazon.com.
I can't tell you what to do in your home, and I can't tell you how to fix what's going on in your home. All I can tell you is what I do in my home, how I handle certain things in my home. I would never tell nobody, but this is what you should do. No, I ain't gonna tell you that because you and your kids might have a different relationship than me and mine. Okay, I can't tell you what to do. Life is just that. Life is what you're gonna make it. The understanding that you're gonna give it is about you. And everybody wants to maximize or minimize who you is and tell you who you are and what you're gonna do, what you're not gonna do, and how they feel your life's supposed to be sustainable behind theirs. No, you cannot. What you can do is give me a sound mind suggestion about what you think you feel, and then I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. And that's how we're gonna handle that. I can't sit and listen to people anymore tell me my life. And I can't tell you yours. Because life don't have a handwritten book. Because we don't know what's going to happen one day to the next. You don't know how things are going to fulfill itself. You don't know the promises that God made to you. So you got to figure out the promises. You got to read that book. You got to go through it. You got to figure out something for you. Because it's not about us. Life is not about you. Life is not about us. It's about you. When it comes down to who you are, you got to figure out your plan. Your plan got to start somewhere. It has to end in another, but it has to start somewhere. And wherever you start your plan, just make sure you're prayerful in doing your plan. Make sure you got some kind of ground that you want to stand on to put this forth. Because without a ground to stand on, it has no foundation. I mean, you can't have a ground without a foundation, a foundation without a ground. So if you're going to put a foundation down, make sure your ground is laid flat and plain. Make sure that it has no bumps in it, because a lot of us, we done ran into a lot of bumps over the years, you know, but we ran into bumps because there was no handwritten book on life, not through the Bible, not through the world, not through what they see in somebody else's eyes. No, life for some people are just different. It's just the way you want to handle things, the way you choose to handle them. Your way may not be perfect, but your way is your way. And can't nobody do nothing about the way this thing has been dealt to you. Do me a favor.
something. I went to the water. I just left the water. And I went to go read something. And it was Colossians 1, 22, 23, and 24. I go down there a lot and read scriptures, but today this one just stood out and just was stabbing me in the heart and talking to me. And not knowing that sometimes scriptures will set you free and give you clear understanding. Colossians is one that touched my heart today. I don't know if y'all read it, but I'm going to give you the opportunity to read Colossians yourself. And then while we're talking, go to Colossians again, 1, 23, 2, 23, and 24. Read it while I'm talking. Get some justification for yourself. Get some understanding for yourself. And take the time to get to 24 and read that too. I'm going to tell you why. These scriptures that I'm telling you to read is going to motivate you for the rest of the week and give you some thought and some insight into self. Again, Colossians 1, 22, 23, and 24. Read those scriptures again while we're talking. And I'm going to tell you why again. Reading those scriptures is going to open some things up inside of you, and it's going to give you some insight and some enlightenment. It's going to judge you on a couple of things of yourself first. When it judges you, then you're going to give clear understanding, because judge ye not that you be judged. When people are throwing cliches and judging and tearing people's lives down and doing things in order to make somebody else unhappy, trust me, condemnation come right back to you. And that's when people say karma is I'm not going to say that because you know what karma is. But read Colossians, it's going to tell you a lot. And those that ain't into reading the word or the Bible, you need to pick it up sometime, because it means something. It'll clearly keep your mouth closed on some things, and it'll let things just happen and let God do some things and give you understanding. Sometimes it brings peace with understanding. And not only was I sitting there reading it, it just sets you free from seeing a lot of things. You got to trust in God. You got to trust in Him whole. Put your whole heart into Him. Put everything you got into Him, because when things come up against you and temptations be battling with you, you got to sometimes take it to the water. Take it to the water and sit and talk. Put yourself in it. Make yourself happy. Give yourself something to think about. Give yourself some unknown energy that you have not had in a long time. Put yourself at bay and at reason with things that's going on in your life. Give yourself some time. Again, I'm asking y'all, please read Colossians 1, 22, 23, and 24. I just sat at the water and read it, and it just did something to my spirit. It just brought me out of some things. And for those that don't think people got word in them, you better talk to some people. Yeah, I don't say much about God, and I don't talk much about Him, because I don't impress Him upon nobody. He told us not to, and I'm not going to. But I am going to speak the word when He tells me to speak it from now on, and I'm going to give it. And after sitting reading Colossians 1, 22, 23, and 24 this morning, I'm going back to it. I got to talk to my God, and I got to give Him reason why I've done things that I've done. I got to give Him reason why the things that people say to me have hurt me, but they don't hurt no more. And no, I ain't got no crying. I ain't finna do none of that. That's not gonna happen. I'm just telling you that the power that's in me finna come out. I don't have time to play with y'all no more. Yes, I love life, and that abundantly. I'm gonna have fun, and I'm gonna enjoy it, because God said I could. He didn't tell me I had to sit at home and couldn't do nothing. He didn't tell me that this corona and this delta was going to take none of us out. What we got to do is get powerful and get strong. And things that's taking people out is illnesses and sicknesses. You got to talk to some people at these hospitals, and they'll tell you the most thing that's coming through there right now is heroin overdoses. Get me, because I've been there. I go to the hospitals. I talk to people. The heroin overdoses, the pill overdoses, the crack overdoses, liquor overdoses. That's what's coming through there. That's the people right now that's coming in the hospital, and they want to keep tagging corona to it, and we want to keep sitting here listening to this crap on TV because they trying to get rich constantly, trying to dog us out, give you money, and want to take it back from you. Want to say they're going to take your food stamps. Now they're going to take your taxes at the end of the year because you're not getting them, because they gave you money. That they sit up here and play games with our lives, and we want to keep on sitting up here saying that we have faith in them. No, I got faith in God. I don't know where your faith is at, and I don't know where your faith is lying at, because everything they're doing right now is to dictate and put you in order and put you where they want to put you at, the upper class, the lower class. I'm not in neither one of them classes. I'm rich because God said I'm rich. I'm rich in spirit first, and I'm rich in faith. All this other stuff that they talking, I can't play with. I'm not there to sit up and dictate what nobody got in their house, how your house is supposed to look. Everybody that want to live like the Joneses, you go right ahead. You have your day. You have your day, because my day is in heaven. Right down here, I'm going to do what I need to do. I'm going to keep doing and being the person that I've always been. Keep feeding people. Keep being that person I'm supposed to be. I am going to never change for nobody that want to be out here and be fake. I'm going to be Karen. I can't change. And if you want to keep scarring my good name and talking about me, go right ahead, because God said not so. He said he that is in you, that is he that's in the world. It's in me. I'm that person. I'm that person that God chose a long time ago, and I kept playing with my life and trying to figure everybody else out and trying to do things for everybody. No, I'm not crying. These tears just want to come because I'm that person that's going to be happy. That's what I'm trying to say. Let me get that out. Let me wipe my face, because that ain't what this is about, and I ain't going to go here, because I'm going to tell you something. Life is too precious. It's too precious. Give me a moment. Let me get through this. I got one thing dear to me that's closer to me than my mother ever been. And that's my sister. Would nobody believe that, because we don't be around each other that much. But just like she's dear to me, every last one of them was dear to me. Leave that right there. But my baby, understand this. It's just us two left. And you are my joy. You would never know that. I'm proud of you. I have never told you that, but you need to hear that from me. I am proud of you. Yeah, there's some things you have done that made me mad, but God understands us. What I need to tell you is I love you beyond everything. It doesn't mean nothing. Anything in life doesn't matter unless I had one of y'all close to me. I don't care which sibling it was. And still to this day, if I can bring them all back and have them here with me to enjoy our kids, I will. God knows from this day forward, we have to be strong in life. We have to push all the sadness and the madness away. We have to understand for once and for all, we're all here for a purpose and a reason. I don't know y'all purpose and y'all reason. Mine is to serve God first. And he says serving his people is our job, and the least you do for one of his, we're doing for him. So since we're doing it for you, God, since I understand that now, I got to push everything aside. I got to walk in faith and not by sight. I got to understand that this is for you and not for us. I got to understand that what we put together as a whole, as a family, as a unit must matter. Everything else is obsolete. We have to enjoy life right now at this time, because too many people are catching corona. Too many people are getting sick, and that's not for us. Again, it's not for us to catch. I'm hearing these things from people that I know. I don't know how people are getting sick, and I don't know what's going on, but I know one thing. If you want to survive and you want to live, you better get in your word, and you got to get in faith. Even some of those have left here. But where was your faith at? How strong was your faith? Where did your faith lie at? And you got to understand, again, everybody's here for a reason. Some people are leaving here not because of corona, and I'm so sick of them trying to put that out there, push that in our face. That's not so, and it's not true. Because I'm talking to people at the hospital that work for these places and institutions. Yes, people is catching this stuff, but it's not like they say it is. You got to figure these things out. You have to talk to people, because the media and social media and the news is lying about a lot of stuff. I know I went through a couple of things, and this is just some of the stuff that I want to start touching. I'll touch and agree again. God said it's not so. If I said speak, you gonna speak. If I said do, you gonna do. And if you keep sitting back not doing what I told you to do, repercussions come. I don't need no repercussions. I done had enough in my life. So it's time for me to keep doing the best that I can do and keep showing the God in me, because he's here. As much as I done went through, with people that I went through, I got to forgive every time I'm hurt. I don't care who it is. Every time my husband do something, I must forgive. Every time a family member say something, I got to forgive. At the end of the day, if forgiveness is not what I say I am, and faith is not what I say I hold, what did I ever say I love God for? Because he said, the least you do for one of mine, you do it for me. So a lot of things that you got to keep turning to your cheek to. And he said, turn that cheek 7 times 7. No matter how many times you feel like you've been slapped in the face and your heart's being crushed and you've been stumped on and people have said this and said that about you and talked about you, downgraded you, said you would never amount to nothing, you wasn't gonna never be nothing, who she thinks she is. She's trying to be seen. We ain't having it. That's not God. Now you can keep playing and you can keep saying that it's God and you can keep talking like that, because I'm gonna be who he said I'm gonna be, not who you want me to be. And that should go for every last one of y'all. And if you don't understand that yet, something is wrong with you. Sometimes you got to sit back and watch things and understand things. God still lives in me. No matter how I got out there and shit, no matter how I got drunk, no matter how I smoke. No, we say what you want to say. At the end of the day, he said, if you don't speak my name and speak my word and get back to preaching and talking to things that you got in you, the wrath that they gave you is nothing compared to the wrath that I'm going to give you. Get what God is saying. I got it. And it's time to do it. It's time to live it. It's time to walk it. I sat at the water and cried all morning and turned red-eyed because I'm sitting up here, not walking in the faith that I know I have, not walking in his word, not doing what I'm supposed to because I'm afraid of people and what they're going to say because I went out and had a drink. No, he didn't say that. He said he'll help all things fall out of you. He'll make you free. Not us. We're not going to make ourselves free. We can't make ourselves free. We can't. The God of the universe, whatever you want to call him, the man that I understand, the beautiful person that I know, the God, the Jesus Christ that's in me, the person that gave me life, I do understand it. Because man didn't give me nothing and he can't take it away from me. Everything I lost, if I lost it, oh well, that meant it wasn't mine. If God took it away, oh well, that meant it wasn't mine. If God said not so, oh well, it meant it wasn't mine. So what am I crying about it for? I can't cry over spilled milk and things that I don't have, understanding that God is going to add all things to me that he wants me to have and that I need. And that's when my blessings come through and I understand them. I see them clearly. I don't have to ask nobody to pray for me because I know how to pray for myself and pray for those that love me. Understand this, prayer is within you. If you can't pray for yourself and you're calling on other people and asking them to pray for you, something is wrong with you, because God will talk to you. He will talk to you when he's ready, whether you're in a drunken stoop, whether you're high as I don't know what off of whatever you want to put in your system. Because when God say he's going to change things, when God say he's going to give you something, can't nobody stop it. They can't change it. I don't care what they say and how they say it. Believe me, he'll make it happen. And when he make it happen, you can't get mad. You can't say, well, I didn't want it now. I wanted it back then. I don't want it right now, God. I'm tired of it right now. He said, I'd give it to you, and I gave it to you when I was ready. Now understand, it's either you take it now, don't get it at all. And what you think you're going to get 10 times as worse than what you got. I receive what you're giving me, God. I'll take it right now when you're ready to give it. I ain't got time to wait for it because I don't know how it's going to be when it gets to me. But I know right now what you're giving to me is grand and it's good. And I understand and I accept it. Some people want to jump off bandwagons, jump on this wagon. I'm going to jump with him. I'm going to jump with her. I'm going to jump with him. I'm going to jump with her. I'm going to tell you something. I ain't never jumped nowhere. I ain't never moved nowhere. Say what you want to say. Believe what you want to believe, because my heart been in one place and it's going to stay that place. They can't change it. Nobody can. Nobody but God. And when he change it, I'm going to understand it. Until then, I'm going to ride this ship until the wheels fall off. I need y'all to do the same. First, Colossians 1, 22, 23, 24. Read that. Jump into it. I'm going to give you scriptures every day and tell you to read them scriptures, but these scriptures going to talk back to you. Then you're going to understand. You got to walk in these things by yourself. Can't nobody tell you who you are. Can't nobody condemn you but God. And you condemn yourself when you listen to people. When we listen to them, we condemn ourselves unholy, because people will tell you who you're not. People will pull you down even when you're trying to keep climbing up. They will tell you things and they will put things in your spirit that will dampen your spirit, cramp your spirit. And guess what? Mine been dampened and cramped for the last 3 years because I was afraid to step back out because of people, because I was drinking or I was having a smoke. Yes, I did. Get mad. Say what you got to say. The truth of the matter is, I did it. I did it because I am real. I'm number one real. I'm going to tell you something about me. My life is this. I understand who I am. And only one person going to condemn me and only one person going to send me to hell. And that's the God that I serve. And he said, when these things fall off, when I add new things unto you, you will see them, Karen. I see them. Yes, things have made things different in our lives when I started smoking marijuana, because I found out people don't understand you. People get mad at you. People will turn about face to you because you dance. But see, everybody worried about your body parts and what you do to them. I'm not worried about what you go out there and do. I'm worried about the spirit man in you. I'm worried about how you serving God. I'm worried about how you talking to him, because I don't know what's going on darn self. If you were praying for yourself, you wouldn't have time. If you were praying for your family and your immediate family and getting on the things that you need to be on and talking about those things, all this other demonic stuff that you thinking and causing on people's lives, you wouldn't have time to do, because we got too many other things to do. We got too many lives at stake to keep playing with them the way we playing with them. You got to get on this bandwagon, and it's called God's wagon. I can't get off of it. I tried to keep jumping off, and every time I jump off, I pop right back on. You know why? Because I know where I need to be. I don't need to be on this mist and the madness, because the madness don't help me. It discouraged me. The unhappiness don't help me. It discouraged me. The unpeacefulness don't help me. It discouraged me. The liar don't help me. It discouraged me. The person that's judging don't help me. It discouraged me. The person that continually just want to see hate and harm come to somebody don't help me. It discouraged me from loving. It discouraged me from having hope. It discouraged me from walking right. It discouraged me from having peace. It discouraged me from being that person that God really wants me to be. That person that loves, kind, and want to feed and help. That discouragement in life, y'all need to stop with each other. Y'all need to stop. You really need to stop being so judgmental, so curseful. And when I say curseful, I mean cursing your own family members. You're going around here cursing stuff about them and saying negative things. I can't, and I'm not doing that. I'm uplifting everybody in this family. Whatever you want to do, I got your back. I can't judge you. I'm not going to hurt you. And what you feel about me is on your commandment. I mean, your condemnation with God, not mine. God is going to judge you. I can't judge you. So I'm going to keep lifting you, and I'm going to keep pushing you. And whatever you need me to do, I'm there. My heart is there. My will is there. My joy is there for you. You know why? God hath never left me nor forsaken me. There's not one dang on day I could tell y'all that I went without bread on my table, that I went without food on my table, that I went without being able to pay my bills. Yes, I done been down, hurt, discouraged a couple of times, but there's places that God sent me to people that helped me out. Say, go get them. They'll help you pay that. And that was a long time ago. That's when we were going through things. And even though now that God is just making plentiful moves for us and doing things for us, I hold no good thing from nobody. See, but I had to be quiet, and I'm going to continue to be quiet, because guess what? What he's doing for me is not for you. Right now, this is for Karen. It's things that's going to be did in my life that I got to be quiet on, but I want to give the joy that I can give to anybody. I know y'all done heard of Mother Wattles. My heart's to be something like that one day, okay? Not Mother Wattles, but Karen, all right? I want to be somebody that can give whatever I can give, feed whoever I can feed, and that's me, and that's always been me. So to judge me is judging a person that always had a giving heart. I can't stop giving, and I never will, because every time I give, God make plenty for me. He double it every time. He say, those you help, the little least you do for one of mine, you doing for me. So I jump when people call. At begging calls. I jump when people say they need me. I've been there for people. There's a couple of people I do owe. I can't lie, and I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I may owe some people. Okay, if I owe you, you'll get it. I ain't that type of person, never will be that type of person. But at this time, things was bogus in our lives. It was really bogus, and it wasn't us. It was just things going on. And when the complex is there, when the energy, bold energy and hate and families and stuff is there, you don't know how to control yourself. You be so discombobulated and don't understand what God is doing in your life. And He said, hold on. He said, as long as you hold on, I got you. As long as you can keep the faith, I got you. As long as you can walk with me, I got you. And I walk with God. I stayed with God. And trust me, when He came like a rushing wind. He said, I got you. He said, no matter what happened, I got you. And He always had me. That's why I don't get mad at people no more. I can't. Because He said things is going to come up against you. Things going to continue to be said about you. Because, see, the devil going to keep on with the same story. He can't never change his story because you ain't doing nothing. So if that's the story that he can stick with to keep hurting you, he going to keep doing it. He going to keep doing it. Remember, he going to keep doing it. Because he has nothing else on you. And he will keep lies going, because this is what he wants. He said, Karen, you did not come back to me. You did not come back in faith. You came back talking. You came back walking. You came back wanting it, but you didn't have me. He said, now that you got me, you better not let me go no more. You got to understand who you're dealing with. God is one of a real. Trust me. And I'm walking with Him now, and I won't change no more. It's not about facing. It's not a fence straddle. It's a person that's been going through. And the demonic spirit stayed on my back, and that's people. Stayed on my head with lies and different things that I've heard in the world and in the streets. And if you don't understand one thing about me, I move everywhere and I go everywhere. I'm not with the lies. And if I'm a gangster for Jesus, and I'm going to stay that gangster. I won't change. Okay? Just remember this. I will be giving scriptures. And I'm going to stick with this one right now today, because I'm going to give it back to you again. Colossians 1, 22, 23, and 24. You need to read them. Get into them, digest them. Because it put me back into the place that I need to be. It shook me today. It said you going back and you're going to live right. You're going to understand what you're doing. You're going to check yourself. You're going to check the things about you. And it started with you first. He said, when you set forth and do what I want you to do, other things that follow, I'll set you up where no man can change things. Woo! Y'all don't get it because you ain't where I'm at. Okay? Because I know the God I serve is a great God. And I know the things he do is awesome. Keep on trying to tear it down, because the only thing you tearing down, you done given it power. And God said what we give power to will replenish his earth. That's from me, because I came in my spirit. And I understand the God I serve is a great God. Hey, baby. He's a great God. For one, he saved my grandson. On here talking. He saved my grandson. Not finna go in the house. I cooked yesterday.
Oh,
Cheesecake in there too.
that's fine with me. I don't want to pay this lift to go back. You try to take me home, I'll pay you some gas.
Yeah, I'll take you home. Okay, y'all. I had a good day. My grandson then popped up. Y'all have a beautiful day. Collages 1, 22, 23, and 24. Read those.
Well, I'm a wife, a mother. I am an author. I'm a chef. And I quite firmly believe in myself as being a very personal Christian. And I say that for a reason. We'll get to that later. Even if you're a good parent, even if you're treating your kids good, somebody will come in and say, you're still fixing them kids' plates and they're 20 years old. Well, this is my kitchen. I got to still clean it up and cook in it, even if they come to visit. Why can't I fix my children's plate? You know, some people just look at things in a certain way, in a certain nasty way, to where I just don't understand it in life now. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
The little good things you do considered bad. If I fix my children is 20 years old, or my grandkids, they come over and I cook dinner and I fix them a plate. They old enough to fix their own plate. Excuse me? This is still me showing my love. I'm still a mother and a grandmother at the end of the day. Why can't I do these things?
So there's a lot of negativity. You know, I would like to include a lot of envy and jealousy, because many times people don't expect people to overcome sometimes the issues that they have had. And instead of being happy and supportive, many people, I don't know why they might resent the overcomer of whatever a person been through. You have a testimony to tell now. You're a minister. So now to the book. Is this some of the information that's in the book, right? Overflow?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So can I ask you why you called it Overflow?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Because this have been an overflow. This life have been an overflow. And what I mean by that, from day one, I was a child taking phenobarbital. I didn't say that. The papers from Iron Mountain said it, from Children's Hospital. They said that I went to the hospital and had my stomach pumped because I drank some kerosene.
Oh.
I didn't say this. This is an overflow. You got to understand, when something happened to you in your life and God keeps you here, this is an overflow. Been hit by a car. Been in some club that I know I shouldn't have walked out of. Should have been dead. Been in some car accidents. No, I shouldn't have got out of. Should have been dead. Been watched things happen to me in my life, and know God has been there all the way through it, with cancer, through grandmother, through my mother's, through both my brothers' death. I know God's been there for me. I don't know why, but I understand why. Because he's showing me something. He showed me a great deal of things recently that nobody understand. They would never understand, because they've never been in my shoes. They've never walked a mile in them. They surely probably will never do it. But even the little bit that I've seen in these last 10 years that people could do to each other and how they can hurt each other just for mere money, just for little unpurposed things that people really shouldn't have done to each other. I'm looking at people go out the world backwards just to hate each other, just to hurt each other, just to see somebody begging bread. That's what they want. They want to see each other hurt. And that's why. I can't explain this, but we're in some perilous times and some miserable times. I see a bunch of miserable people. It's scary to the eye, but yet I praise him in the midst of all of it because I know who has me. I know who my God is, and I know how he loves me, even in the midst of all the trials, even in the midst of that, the molestation, the problems, the headaches, the kids arguing, the kids trying to fight, the disrespect, the talk, the way they talk to you, the way they sit up here and act like they don't hear you when you're speaking right at your child, and they'll sit on that game, whether it's a headset or not, and act like they do not hear you. Never have I ever felt some of the pain that I feel now. These times are so perilous. The stuff that I went through as a child, I was set up. Because if I hadn't have been set up for this, even with the molestation, if God hadn't set me up for some of the stuff I've been through, I'd have killed myself a long time ago.
Wow. We thank God that you are here with us.
I thank God.
We want to tell them where they can buy this book, Overflow by Karen Curry. If you would love to tell them where they can buy this book, Karen.
It's on Amazon. The book is on Amazon.
You go to Amazon.com and look for Overflow by Karen Curry. But I went to look for the book and I just went on Google and put Overflow by Karen Curry, KarenCurry. And we just hope that you would go and purchase that book and read it. I believe by your testimony, somebody will be blessed. Somebody may be able to turn their thoughts around, their mind around. Be encouraged, because after all you said, and I'm sure you haven't said everything that you've gone through, but you're still here. And you're still, I see a strong woman still here, still living, believing God, and God is blessing you and giving you information on what to do to help yourself and other people. So I see you as being a blessing. So we hope that you all will go to Overflow and buy the book by Karen Curry. Please support her. Please buy that book and read it, because if you hear this conversation, it's more interesting to be able to go and read the whole book. Karen, how much is the book?
The book is $10 now.
Well,
it's $10 on Amazon.
I'm going to buy a book. I'm going to buy the book, Karen. And
well, we just got a book. We're gonna do a show. We got a show coming with you, so you don't gotta worry about it. We're gonna be getting about a lot of stuff. We're gonna talk about a lot of things. There's a lot of stuff I still gotta come through. It's a lot of stuff I'm still working through. God still is fixing things in our lives every day. Because guess what? We don't know what's coming.
Well, we're making an announcement. She just made the announcement that she will be on starting on the 13th at 6:45. We're going live, and by that time you just have to see the live and living Karen Curry. You hear her voice, and what she's saying is very powerful. Behind me you see the picture of her, and you see the book, parts of the book. But God be willing, on the 13th, Karen is coming on with her own ministry broadcast. And it'll be just her coming on to, fill that hour with whatever God gives her. A lot to say, a lot to talk about, a lot to express. And I just know that we're all going to be blessed by that. So it's going to be live on all the platforms. It's going to be on LICMC radio as well. We're looking forward to listening to you, Karen, and then next time we're looking forward to seeing you. At the same time, we don't expect this to be the last interview that I can talk to you about, because you have so much. I would like to say I remember a lot of things that you were doing over the years. I remember you were telling me about personally yourself and the different relationships and how the things you got caught up in. And when you went through that caused you to help other young girls. I remember you had the ministry where you were helping young girls just going through situations because you understand, and you wanted to be there for these young ladies in case there was just nobody there to listen.
Well, you know what's so hard with that part?
What?
Because young girls sometimes can't hear you. There's something else that may wreck you. I'm sorry. The truth got to be told because I've been there. There's so many women been there, been strung out on something else than drugs, than marijuana, than liquor. And when you strung out on that, it's just as powerful as any drug.
Are you talking about sexuality?
I'm talking about what these young girls are getting attached to.
So because of the interaction with the man, physical action with the man, they are being. We know the Bible speaks about that too, as well as every time when you do that with that particular person, you are joining together. Your spirits are together, and if he's good or no good, you're still going to be involved. You're involved with something.
Your spirits are entwined with other spirits, and they don't understand that, and that's true. Because if that man have another woman at home, and his mind is caught up in her, and his mind is caught up with you across the street or up the block around the corner, trust me, while his mind is caught up with you, and his mind is caught up with her, Jane is waiting on the other end of the block too.
This kind of sounds like control through the spirit of the body, of the lust of the body, and the feelings of the body. It's kind of reminds me of a bit of witchcraft too, because once it clicks in, that spirit clicks in, you don't want to let it go. Like if you call it an addiction.
Exactly, an addiction.
Yeah.
And that's what our children are experiencing. Not only that, when a 10-year-old, it's just so many elements. God help me. When you get a 10-year-old baby to wake up out of his sleep and shoot his mother because she wakes him up for school, that is bothering me. There's so many connections to this demonic spirit that's out here that people are not paying attention to. It had some of us even when we were out here in the world. And I'm talking about myself. I had two children before I started dancing. See, that's where we didn't get to. I was pregnant and had 2 children when I was 17 years old.
Wow.
My first job was at Burger King on Greenfield and Dre Road. In Detroit. I worked there, but it wasn't enough money to take care of me and 2 kids. It wasn't enough to pay them bills. It wasn't enough to make sure my lights and gas and my water stayed on. It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough food stamps coming to make sure we had food that whole month. I don't know what people was talking about. Food stamps don't last a month in my home. They might not even last 2 weeks in my house because we eat. So I don't understand how some people can survive off of just that. Yes, I see why some women, they call it poverty. Yes. But I never felt poverty. I mean, even when I stayed in Herman Gardens, and I don't care what nobody say, I never felt poverty because I ate. I've never missed a meal when my mother took care of me and my grandma. I never missed a meal when I got grown for my children. So I never experienced poverty. I possibly experienced not having things, but I didn't experience poverty. And I can understand some people may experience that. But a lot of people that say they experience some poverty, no, poverty is when you don't have a roof over your head, when you're not eating, when you don't have no clothes, when you don't have no shoes, when you don't have things that you possibly need. When you got things you need, you're not in poverty. If you get that out of your mind, you can make something of it. You can create things. You can have a shack, but you can put a little paint on the walls. You can clean up the outside and put a little flower outside and cut down some hedges and make it a home. But see, some people don't know how to turn something that God gives you into a home. I don't care what it looked like, what it may seem like. If you took that little bit he gave you and turned it into a home, he may give you a castle. We don't know. He's just made out.
Wow.
It's just so many elements to this to me. I'm soaring with pain sometimes listening to some of these kids, the way they act and talk to them, how we got to give them respect. How? In my house, I'm supposed to give a child respect. When you walking in and out my door, eating my food, using my soap and my water, brushing your teeth with my toothpaste, the toothbrush that I bought, the face towel that I bought, tell me I owe you some hot? What? Not in this world. See, I believe in putting hands on kids and making you understand who I am. If you don't understand who I am, then I don't want to talk to you. There's too many elements to this life thing. There's so many elements that it bother me every day, and people want to sit up there and try to browbeat somebody and tell them who they're supposed to be and how they're supposed to be in life. When you have all these elements working against you and you're still trying to fight through everyone as you're growing as a child from 15 years old with a child in your hand, trying to say, how do I make it? How do I do this? How do I perform this, God, when everybody else is telling me the wrong way? Or is it the right way? Which way do I go? And that's how some young ladies feel, and that was me. I didn't know which way to turn. I didn't know at the time who to talk to, because this auntie may have an attitude. That one may say, get out of my face. This one may say, you can come over here and still call this one and talk about me like I'm a dog. See, sometimes you never know which way to turn. And then you got this one house you can go to that's going to rub your head and say, I love you. It's going to be okay.
Wow.
Don't listen to them. Don't pay attention to them. You got to make it. You got them kids. You may be a dancer. Don't let nobody put you down and talk about you because you're doing what you got to do. At the end of the day, ain't nobody taught you nothing. Ain't nobody teaching you nothing. You're learning day by day as you go along.
Wow.
Have people in this world trying to drag a person down. You can't. I was already drugged down. I wallowed on my belly already. And God said, not so. It would never happen again. My peace is already restored up with God.
Wow. So, Minister Karen,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not even sure how long we've been on at this time, but I knew that when we were to get on, we were going to be on for a while, because really, like some people say, this is only the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more.
I don't know what y'all do, but I have set up glorious breakfast for me and my family. I'll see y'all today. We have peas, we have salmon croquette, we have shrimp and grits, rice, we have homemade biscuits, we have,
Been waiting so patient, I'm going places, can't fake it. My heart is so cold, my energy is contagious. All the pain, I can't take it. I'm saying grounded and graceful, cause I know.
Yeah, you say 2 pastas. Okay, well, we got broccoli too for those that don't like pasta, but the pasta is banging with the spaghetti for some reason. Those are crab cakes. If you by any chance don't know, but those that don't know, they're crab cakes. That's the sound one.
Get ready to listen to KC and the Mix with host Karen Curry. Listen as Karen gets up close and personal. Friday at 6:45 p.m. live on licmc.net, radio, and social medias. Karen Curry is also the author of the book Overflow, The Karen Curry Story, and can be purchased on Amazon.com.